is Sonia Hillebrand. Welcome to Design Matters. This morning I have the multi-talented Bruce Ellis with me. Welcome, Bruce. Bruce is from a company called Impalax, and he is the owner and he's the interior designer. Bruce, it's wonderful to have you with us today. Thank you for coming.
Sonia, thank you very much for having me here.
Lovely. Viewers, today we're going to discuss wallpapers. Bruce, tell me, how popular is wallpapers in today's age?
The great thing about wallpaper is the fact that you can actually change any space that you really want. Wallpapers today are where we should be going. In the 60s and early 70s, one kind of knew that wallpapers were kind of in. There was flocks, there were different types of styles, etc. But they were also installed in a way that once it was up, it was up. Today, we actually have the ability to actually put wallpapers up with the new technology, and you can use them in rental apartments, so you can actually sponge them off and take them away. And also the new ranges are amazing. I mean, so you can do children's rooms that are really exciting. You can do complement rooms. You can do so many different aspects. Wallpaper is the way to go.
You chatted about children rooms. That would worry me. What happens if we do wallpaper in a toddler's room and you have a Picasso or a Leonardo da Vinci?
Unfortunately, we do have those in our lives, which is unfortunate.
Yes.
But having said that, the great thing about the new technology, and look, we're not talking about using high intensity sort of cleaners, but they are wipeable. And the great thing about it is that you can actually replace certain sections if required. So the Leonardo, we would prefer they don't do it, but yes, there is a possibility.
So there's a possibility. That's wonderful. So would you advise that if we did do wallpaper, we always buy an extra roll or two in case it gets discontinued?
Most of the time what generally happens is that when you're doing a calculation, you end up with a little bit of leftover.
Okay.
So at least it comes from the same die lot. Always just remember that if you are actually going to buy to the absolute limit, buy an extra roll if required.
Lovely, wonderful. And then tell me, how cost effective is wallpaper?
This is the interesting thing. I think a lot of people have got this actual impression that in actual fact wallpaper is an over-the-top expense. That is actually nonsense. And the fact that you can actually change a room so incredibly effectively is the way we should actually be thinking. If you keep your palette nice and neutral, you can actually change your wallpaper every 3 to 5 years depending on the stage of your life. And at the same time, you can actually accentuate places with cushioning. You can add throws, you can change a rug, and you're not having to change all the furniture, but you can change the walls, and that really is.
In the long run, it's actually more cost effective to have a wallpaper than to paint, because one has to paint every couple of years.
And in addition, what you can do is you can use a stripe that actually goes, say, with a brocade.
So what you're saying is, let's say a dining room and a lounge combined, and then you'd have the stripe, let's say in the dining room, and you'd have the brocade.
A perfect example is what we have on the table here.
Oh, lovely.
You've got this sort of idea that could go on in the same space, but at the same time, most of our living actually flows. So you really want to have that sort of flow, but at the same time, it doesn't have to be biggie, bestie, matchy. If you know what I'm getting.
I'm with you. Oh, that's beautiful. That's lovely. And then also, tell me the trends for 2020. I believe botanicals and asymmetricals are very trending right now.
They are. And this is the great thing, is that you can keep up with trends economically and still be able to actually change them regularly, like over a 3 to 5 year period, depending on your choice. So my advice is always to kind of suit what works for you as a family, where you are in whatever stage in your life. I mean, we deal tremendously with singles, recently divorced type people who are looking for a new lease on life, something that's going to be exciting, but at the same time, you've got a complementary type of approach. Wallpaper is the way to go. It's fantastic. It's awesome. I mean, what I've achieved is absolutely amazing just with changing one wall.
Installation. How important is it to have a good installer, or can you do it yourself?
Sonia, I'm going to make this as my highlight point: is get the right installer. And as an interior designer, I cannot stress this enough. You can buy the best papers, but if it's installed incorrectly, you're wasting your time. So my attitude is get the right installer. It might cost you a little bit of money, and that's why you call in your interior designer, because they invariably only deal with the best. And we only make sure that that is absolutely perfect. I mean, that honestly is key.
Viewers, please remember, key to wallpapers. Do not try and do it yourself.
I would strongly suggest against it. Let's put it that way.
Okay. If we had to take a cottage, or somebody had to take a cottage at home and turn it into a B&B, I think wallpaper would be one of the first steps we should look at.
Without a doubt. The great thing about wallpaper is that the applications and the ability to actually cost effectively turn something into a fantastic space is very, very easy. Just always remember, Sonia, the only other thing that I do want to mention is that we need a nice flat wall to be able to put decent wallpaper on. You don't want it too pivoted. But notwithstanding the fact, it's easy to screed a wall. That's not a problem. But the thing is that if you were trying to kind of redo, say, an Airbnb or cottage or have that extra income, which actually is amazing, wallpaper is the way to go. There's no discussion.
The other thing I'd like to ask you is, I see there's a very big trend with COVID-19 and wallpapering screens.
Absolutely. There's no discussion. I mean, most people are having to turn their homes into some sort of office space. At the same time, they don't want to lose out on the ability to actually have their home. You can easily wallpaper a screen, and you can do soundboarding as well, which is actually really amazing. So when you're on the telephone and the rest of the family are around, you still have that privacy and that ability to have a conversation.
Tell me a little bit about soundboarding.
It absorbs that sort of motion that goes with your voice. So when the children are running around and actually having a really good time, you can still actually take a business call and actually kind of survive. But it still can fit in with your home. So as I was saying, we can actually add like a stripe or something that actually fits in with the entire look. Then when you've got friends coming over, you pack the board away, it easily packs down. As you rightly say, in a COVID-19 situation, we're now going to have to rethink how we're actually going to utilize our spaces.
What would you give the viewers advice on for a tip for the week?
My tip for the week is simply this. I would strongly suggest don't impulse buy. I think that one of the biggest mistakes is that you walk in, you get very excited about a product, and you buy. Take a photograph of it, go home. It'll still be there tomorrow. If it really is something you really want, you'll go back. It's worthy of that sort of option.
Lovely. Thank you, viewers. I hope you enjoyed that today. Please, if there are any questions, do not hesitate. Give us a shout. That's what we're here for. We are interior designers, decorators. We help you. Send us an email. Have a wonderful week. Take care and God bless.